I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. It's kind of a muggy day today. I think it's the first sort of day where you walk outside and it just sort of like moisture sticks to you. So that's just the start. Hopefully, it won't last very long here. All right. You missed me, Judy from Bellevue, Nebraska. Yes. I attended your course in Munich last September. Ah, okay. I'm recognizing the name. Yes, I remember you. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Yes, hopefully I'll be teaching again there in Germany at Dictum School next year. We'll see how everything sort of calms down around the world a bit and hopefully open that up again next year. All right. Jacob, hello, Mary. Happy to see you again. I learned a lot from your craftsmanship. Hello from the Netherlands. Well, thank you. Hello. Greetings. Well, today I'm just going to continue on. Just to let you know, tomorrow. Hi, Katie. Katie Kozer just did a wave. um, she and her husband Joseph do a live stream right after I'm done, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and Instagram TV and also YouTube, I believe. So welcome. Um, blame the mugginess on Arthur. It's always great when you can blame it on somebody. Yes, we're getting sort of this spinny thing right off the coast, but we're not going to get much of it, I don't think. I don't think we're going to get any rain or maybe a little bit of wind, but we're not going to get anything. The first officially named storm of the year. It's interesting whenever you get this sort of storm, seems like it's heading straight to Charleston, and of course all of them sort of feel like they're heading straight to Charleston, South Carolina, and they always end up doing this sort of veer right at the corner. And I feel sorry for people up in the outer banks of North Carolina because you seem to sort of get all of the stuff that just sort of shear off us and just go straight into you guys. And I think you guys are going to be getting this one also, at least some of it. Okay, well, let's see. I have Tigger here. I'll change the angle because he's hanging out over on this side. Here, I'll do this. Say hi to Tigger amongst all of my tools. Can you see him? There he is. He's completely fast asleep right here. And I put an apron down here. Oh, look at that. I put an apron down here so that actually I put the apron on top of my tools so that he can lie there and hang out. So that's Tigger. All right. Let's see. Hello from Hilton Head. Kudos to Lee Nielsen. Ordered those Aria chisels on Wednesday. They came in on Saturday. Wonderful. Excellent. So, and those are definitely the fishtail ones. That's good to know if that's if they have the fishtail in stock. That is wonderful. Well, have fun with those because they are wonderful tools. Even I mean, I sort of rave on about the fishtails. The Elongi ones that they have also are very good quality. It's just I'm particular to the little fantail fishtails, the really aggressive fantail. I'll show you what I'm talking about. This is here. Get me out of the way for a second. You see that? This is a number 514, but really nice corners, a nice splay on that one. Okay, oh yeah, fishtail is much more defined than the two cherries, yes. Fishier, yes. Okay, well, let me get out of here. And I wanted to share, before I get into this, 3D Sam has been really playing around with that the program called ZBrush, and let's see, I think it was last Friday where we had that twirling image of Lady Jane that was created on a computer, complete virtual image of and just based off of photographs that I sent her, and then she drew this all three-dimensionally. It was pretty fascinating. I'll tell you what, I'm going to go back to that one and show you what that one is. See if I can, there we go. So that's what we were talking about last week. And now, so I asked her to do a little bit more of a kind of showing the process a little bit. And Hold on a second, let me get rid of that. I'm just trying to get rid of a bunch of this clutter on the screen here. We'll just have behind. Okay, so anyway, sorry, where was I? So she has been creating this thing, and then so I asked her to do a little bit more of how this works and sort of show the process. So she sent me a video, and I'm gonna put that up on the screen, and I'll explain what it is, because there's these little tiny red dots that are defining the details on it. And let me just explain what I'm doing here. Okay, so do you see the little red dot there? I'm not sure if you can see that, just right down towards the bottom. And you can see it shows up a little bit more later, but basically it's going and refining a lot of the corners and the shadows. It's really exciting to see this. And my sister-in-law is absolutely brilliant at this, and she just, just magical when you start seeing this come together. Hang on a second. It says the video. Yep, it should be going. CTK. I've got audio but no video. Is anybody else having issues? But you can see now, as you're looking at that all of the edges are being refined. Can you see that little red dot? And so just going along and defining all the edges a little bit more, and you can swing it around and view it from all different angles, and just refining the details. And she uses a Wacom tablet, and this is 3D Sam. If you want to say hi, this is your incredible artwork. Fine here, no issues. Red dot visible. Good, good, good. Yes, a fishtail dot. Okay, and this is again through ZBrush. It's a 3D imaging program, and it is a clay, what was that called? Clay rendering, clay modeling, but it's sort of like a 3D or virtual clay. So, and you can just play around with it and really refine all the details. There you are, 3D. Hi. Red dot is a brush. Sorry, not showing it very well. It does show. You can see it okay. It's pretty small, but look at her head shows up every once in a while. kind of freaky without the head. So it's kind of mesmerizing watching it. But she just did this short video, kind of showing a little bit of the cleaning up method. Now, obviously, because sort of the neck ends up, as it spins around, the head sometimes shows up and sometimes it doesn't. Is the software expensive? I guess that's all relative, isn't it? I don't know. 3D Sam, what was it? 900, I think. I can't remember exactly. Might have to just check check their website. It's ZBrush is the name of the program, and I don't know exactly. This is not, we're not getting anything from ZBrush for this. It's not like we're promoting. This is just because it's a pretty amazing program when you're talking about 3D. And 3D imaging and trying to sort of conceptualize something while you're working. Okay, $40 a month, about 900. So I probably give you the option of buy it outright or a monthly program. Nowadays, these programs, though, they sort of force you into like a monthly payment rather than, or like a membership type thing, rather than just buying it outright. A lot of times they do it, but I'm not sure how this one works. But anyway, that was fun. I could just sit here and watch this forever. But a very accurate to the original marble. So, okay, well, thank you, 3D Sam. Appreciate it, and I'd love to see more, especially working on the face and that type of thing. So let's go back to this and go back to that. Hold on, let me just get rid of some of these other Okay. So let's see. They have a lower version ZBrush Core, then you can upgrade to full later. Okay, so more like a trial. Are you? No, there is a 30-day trial, right? For ZBrush, and then so just probably a little bit more basic. Larry Guild. Sometimes can she show the starting process and how many photo views you need to start out with? Well, this is all just for her interpretation of it. It's not like the photos are actually input into the program. It's more just be able to visualize it from what I understand. Sorry that she looks cross-eyed. She really isn't. Yes, the 30-day trial. So yeah, 3D Sam, we might just have to have you on here. But maybe do a video and showing from the very start of, you know, starting with the blob, I would guess, and then sort of bringing out all the details. So anyway, I mean, you know what? Whether it's virtual 3D or whether it's carving, it's still pretty awesome. Amazing stuff. How many photos did you send her? Oh, probably about, I think probably we're able to do it with about 8 or 10 photos just from every angle to be able to view it all and to be able to see all the concepts. You literally start with lumps of virtual clay, cubes and spheres. Okay. So just start stretching and pulling, and that's pretty awesome. So maybe we need to do a whole new live stream just on ZBrush. There you go. Hey, and you know, they can pay us or something. There you go. Yeah, 10 photos. Okay. Okay, well, just want to adjust this and bring it back over so we can see. Now I'm going to be working on the hair. Let me just do a little bit of adjusting of this. Okay, so I want to be able to see her. I'm going to get rid of me here. Shrink me anyway. Okay, so I'm just going to work on just refining that. You see how these lovely little curls? And going to start out with just separating some of it. No, I'm not going to do that either. I'm going to go ahead and use my handy little number 710 and start to do some general shaping of it and some of the indents. So right there, there's going to be, that's where the curl is going to start right there. So that's going to be this little guy right there. Then it's going to come down. There'll be a solid curl. Now this is where I can kind of play with it and make up my own a lot of this. And okay, then there's going to be one curl going in a little bit into the scarf, although I've made it go a lot in. And so there's that one, and then there's another curl there, and then there's another curl there. So just trying to get some of these a little bit more shapes. I've been avoiding this for a while. Well, I mean, if I just went and dove right into shaping these right from the very beginning, they probably would have been in the wrong position. And then there's going to be and carving lumps, sorry, carving hair is kind of like carving lumps. A lump of hair, a lump of hair. Okay, so each curl is kind of this lump. And then amongst each of those lumps is where you do any kind of extra twirls, things like that. So if you look at this, that is sort of, if you want to call it, one lump, all right? And then it's got a curl there. This is kind of one area right there, but it's got curls within it. There's another one right there. There's another one right there, and there's another one right there. So think about it like that, because if you just sit there and do a bunch of like V-cuts of individual hair, it's actually not going to give that nice curl effect. It's almost going to be like too much information for your mind to be able to handle, especially with something that is this smooth, you know, like just a smooth surface. And then, so generally when you look at these stone carving or wood carving of the hair, especially, you know, a good example of that is like the mane of a horse. Like if you ever see that, you get these sort of lumps of hair and then smaller and smaller details within that section of hair. And it's a fun challenge to try to make something like that look like realistic hair. Okay, here we go. I'm missing some questions here. So yes, 10 photos. Maddie Woodcarver, is that lime wood? Yeah, it's basswood. Very similar to lime. Lucy Fox, hello, Lucy, from sunny UK. Well, that's good to hear. And I would actually be flying back from the UK today after our Grilling Gibbons tour, which didn't happen. So yes, I would have just been finishing that up. Okay. But that Grilling Gibbon tour is now going to be in October 19th through 29th. So if you're interested in that, really it's going to be a lot of fun exploring and studying Grilling Gibbons. 17th century carver. It was a late 1600s. Absolutely brilliant carver. All right, and then let's do another one right there. I'm gonna go take my V-chisel and separate those off. Sometimes the V-chisel works, but sometimes it just doesn't quite get as deep as what you need it, and it also slips and does that type of thing. Don't want to do that in her face. It's okay in that, but okay, and I really am just trying to vary these quite a bit. So we've got a curl coming this way and then curling up that way, and just doing some general shaping. Okay, Matty Woodcarver, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. Welcome. Okay, so along this edge, it should appear to be going underneath the scarf. Okay, do you see how this edge, where you can actually see the edge of the scarf, the hair is going underneath it. But there's going to be a couple areas where the hair curls over and overlaps the scarf. But generally, the hair is going to look like it's going underneath all the way along there. This is more overlapping. And I think my mom should be joining me. She says she's been trying to join me every time I do the live stream. Unfortunately, she does not have an account, so she can't get on the chat. But hi, Mom. Mom in Missouri. Do you have experience with Canadian yellow cedar? I bought a beautiful plank with very fine wood structure this week. You know what? I have never tried that. I would just try it. I mean, if it's really nice grain, then it might be very good. I mean, and I know that if you can get the really good old growth cedar, you can do some beautiful detail on that. But I really am not familiar with that enough to really advise, and I don't know if somebody else out there has tried it. Anybody else? Question about your rose. When you outline the petals with a V gouge, did you cut along the outside of the petal or the inside? That's a good question. Where is the rose? I was kind of not on there. I actually did kind of both. If you if you have an image of it, unfortunately she's turned around, so I can't really show you that. But basically, the center part where the petals are sort of coming out, or maybe even a little bit of bending in, they're kind of both. All right, so they're sort of going like that and angling like that. All right, so I kind of worked it both ways, not completely one side or the other. Trying to think if there's a lesson that I have that shows how to do that. I've got several different types of roses on my online school, different types of or lessons on how to carve different types of roses. And yeah, I mean, basically, after you draw after you carve it with a V-chisel to separate them, then they kind of just come straight out. But it's, yeah, I guess that's the best way to answer that. Is I attacked it from both sides so that it looks like it's coming out towards you. Okay, question. Okay, Sandra Ruby. Hi, Ruth. It's nice that you can join your daughter's live stream. Yes, it is. I'll have to see if she actually made it in today. Yeah, I was actually supposed to be up visiting, visiting them in April, and that didn't happen. All this change happening. So this is really, it ends up being kind of more of a discovery as I go. I haven't really planned a lot of this. Just working it. My cat is over there, and I keep, every once in a while, this wood chip lands on his head. It's like, what? Don't wake me up. Yeah, I'm trying to remember how many different rose lessons I have. I want to say at least 4 different roses. Some of them are, what is it, the Dame Lady Dench rose, the kind of spiky one, and then there's just a regular rose. Then there's a rose that kind of tips like an English rose, that very traditional English rose. All of those lessons are on my online school, and some of them are really, really detailed, really more advanced, and some of them are a little bit less advanced, just a little bit simpler. But yeah, because I think roses, just because of that overlapping petal, you can just do so much with it. And sometimes they're really fully open roses, and sometimes they're more closed. And yeah, it's really, the variety is endless. So, ASOM, wow, OMG, thank you. CTK, when Canadian yellow cedar has a Janka hardness of 580, which puts it somewhere above basswood and cherry. So it should be pretty good to carve unless it tends to be brittle. Well, anytime I have carved cedar or pine or anything like that, I have not had a very good experience with it. But we're talking southern pine or very grainy pine. So it really does depend. on what the grain is like. If it's that sort of dark light that has a lot of variety, then it really makes carving kind of a pain, because you're dealing with very soft, very hard, very soft, very hard. this cat is purring over here. TW, tell them of the daisies. You talking about the daisies on the sign that I made? I'm not sure which one you're. Not sure which one you're talking about. Okay, so there is the edge, and then everything else is going to be tucking in, and I should really start to detail some of this. Oh, I wanted to wanted to show you what I was doing. I don't know, I didn't mention, oops, didn't mention anything about this, but if you look at that, I forgot to mention that about 2 hours ago, I ended up gluing in that corner that was missing, and I've wanted to leave this clamped on here a little longer, just to really make sure. So what I've got there, I've got 2 clamps. I've got this one going, holding it this way, and I've got this one holding it down, so it's really solid against the corners, against the edges. And this is what I ended up taking one of the offcuts of this actual piece, because if you look at that, even the difference between this piece and this piece where that glue line is, really considerable difference in color. And if you look at this, this is a much cleaner, more northern basswood, and you can see it's a huge difference, almost completely different wood. So I decided after I cut that, I thought, well, that doesn't make a lot of sense, trying to put in something like that. It'll be like this big scar. So hopefully this is going to be okay. There's the glue is just still not quite solid. I just want to make sure that it holds tightly. So that's why I'm carving. I'm carving with these big clamps attached. And then once that's hard, or that's that the glue is dry, then I can start to shape that and make it a little bit better there. Wanted to let you know tomorrow, Jojo, who makes carves wooden spoons and also carves clogs. She's into the green woodworking world, which is kind of turning into a big event now, the green woodworking. She's going to be a guest tomorrow. She's going to be coming in through Skype through from Birmingham, and that's going to be a lot of fun. She's going to show us all about how she carves spoons and clogs, and she's going to show us her workshop in Birmingham. And so we're going to touch base a little early tomorrow to make sure everything is running well, and that's going to be fun tomorrow. So same time, it's going to be, well, I guess it's going to be around 6 o'clock in the evening there, and she's going to be joining us as a guest. Okay, just can't decide when they're done. Oh, the the daisies. It's difficult with anything that you're carving to decide really when that time is that they're actually done. That is, you kind of need to step away from it sometimes. Step away from the carving. Okay, what type of glue is used for the notch piece? Just regular Titebond wood glue. Nothing too special. Jojo is great. So you have seen her. I know she taught. Well, she was in the States last year and taught some classes. But if you are into the green woodworking world, you probably know who Jojo is. She's going to be a lot of fun. Asam, you're creative working on wood. Thank you. All right, well, I'm not sure where she's going with that. I'm just sort of making lumps right now. I think, you know what, when you're discovering things like this, you kind of have to be in the in the zone. And I think I'm a little distracted today. Kind of have to just be really, really focused. Whoops. So sometimes if you're not really focused on what you're working on or what you're doing, sometimes doing general shaping is always best. It's the safest. You know, I'm not necessarily doing that final like a Monday. A Monday is probably not the time you want to do like eyes or lips or something like that. You know, when you just start trying to get back into the work week. Okay, yes, exactly. Plymouth Craft with Peter Follansby. Oh, yes. Did you see the live stream with Peter Follansby? Hopefully, we'll have him on again, maybe sometime in June. But yeah, the whole woodworking world is pretty fascinating. Just take things that have been cut down a month before and do all sorts of craziness with them. Is work difficult? It really depends. I've been doing this for over a quarter of a century, so after a while it comes a little easier, but it's a lot of fun. I love doing this. I could do this hour after hour, not get tired of it. And I do it hour after hour. Jim, you started very young. Sort of, yeah. I'm not going to tell you my real age. Asam here in hello from Saudi Arabia. Wow, I think that's I don't know if I've ever had anybody contact from Saudi Arabia. This piece of art is sold in Saudi Arabia, which equals $7,500. Whoa, man! I gotta try to sell this. Yeah, you know, the difficulty sometimes when you carve something for yourself, it's very hard. The thought of selling it too, you know, when you're carving something that you put so much into and all that, very, very difficult to actually put a price tag on something like that. So this is not the shape here. Let me move this hair. Now let me get me smaller. I'm covering up stuff here. So, I mean, you can kind of see she's just basically lumpy right now. And I'm just gonna have to probably gonna have to do this a bit off camera just so I can sort of get my head around it, at least drawing the curls on. For some reason it doesn't seem to be, you know, sometimes it's just not there. Just not happening. I know. I'll just keep carving. I just keep going. You know what I'm gonna do? Tell you what, I'm gonna switch out because for some reason that thing is not working. Not working today. I'm gonna go ahead and use. Except this is kind of gonna get in the way too. I'm gonna go ahead and start working on her chest here and just get a little bit more closer to that final surface. That's the difficulty sometimes with live stream. If it's just not working, you still have to be there, and I'll figure out something. But I'm working with it here. And you know what's interesting? Sometimes if you if you feel like it's kind of having struggle getting the design or whatever, sometimes pushing through and kind of forcing it helps. And just keep carving. Sometimes you just need to stop, and sometimes you just need to sort of take a break, because you could also, at that point, if you're really not with it, you could end up messing it up and without being able to do much to fix it. So you kind of have to try either one, and hopefully you won't have to come back the next day and say, what in the world did I do? What was I thinking? And then sometimes when it's really not working for you, then you just have to do something like this, like go across the surface and smooth it out. Or, you know what else? If you have, if you just want to remove a bunch of wood, if you have an area that still needs a lot of wood, use a mallet. Sometimes that's just so satisfying. On those days that just don't seem to be clicking. Let's see. How much that is a masterpiece sold in America? I have no idea because I haven't sold it, and I'm well, are you talking about the wood one or the stone one? I would that's a very difficult question because I'm not even sure how many hours I've put into this. And like I try to base charging work for by the hour, or try to figure out how long it's going to take, and because I've been doing this for the live stream, I've sort of lost track of hours. Keep carving until it looks like a turtle. Yes, we got some turtle fans out there, I think. My cat is dreaming. Try to move this without. Try not to wake him up. Oh, I think I disturbed him. Digger! Okay, we'll get back to carving. He was doing some sort of weird little noises. All right. See, now that's my problem. I just have so many distractions. I'm easily distracted today. Okay. The turtle. Marlene, thank you very much. See you next time. Whoopsie, I was completely off the... Sorry about that. Completely off screen. I really hope that that will work nicely once I got that. Okay, let's go ahead and define the top of her dress. I'm just going ahead and doing this. I'm not sure if that's such a wise move right now, but gotta do it sometime. Yeah, make it a lot easier if I didn't have these clamps stuck everywhere. Okay, Lucy, he's gorgeous. I have 3 cats and Tigger looks like my Benny. Yeah, he's a beautiful cat. He's a big tomcat. Troodons, can you discuss the virtues of using the number 5 or 7 gouge for removing the material versus number 3, which is flatter and would create a smoother surface? Well, if I'm far away from that final surface and I really want to remove wood, then a number 3, well, first of all, the number 3 is probably going to dig in. Let's see, I'll just show where that might work. This is number 314. If I'm coming in, if I'm coming in right there, and hold on a second, 1 second. So do you see how that there's a potential that that's really going to dig in? First of all, one corner or the other is going to dig in, and then once I do a lot of the removing with either the number 5 or the number 7, that's really more when I'm shaping it, when I'm sort of discovering the shape using something that's a little bit more curved. And then once I know that all of the wood is removed, then I can smooth it over with the number 3. It's just going to end up taking a lot longer using a flatter gouge. It's going to end up taking a lot longer. It's going to potentially dig in, and this is really more using it in that discovery process of still kind of figuring out that full general surface from here to there. If I would stick with the number 3, it just, yeah, the whole process would be a longer process and much more difficult to get that final shape, because I'm really still removing a considerable amount of wood each time. This is number 514, but I'm still removing a considerable amount of wood even now. And if I was stuck with the number 3, first of all, if I go around these little corners, like this curve right there, the corners are going to dig in. And this allows me to do a lot of this, the sculpting part of it, without the corners digging in, and it's still really doing some pretty aggressive shaping. Okay, my lab Luna watches with me every day. It's great having companions. Cute cat. Kramer serve. Keep carving till it looks like an acanthus leaf. How about a turtle with an acanthus leaf on the back? How thick are the slivers you're removing with the number 5? How thick? Oh, 32nd of an inch. Here, I'll show you. Let's do one. So it's really very small, very, very, very small amount, but it's enough so that I can still do the sculpting process. All right, it's removing, I don't know how thick, there's no way to tell. I mean, they're pretty tiny little, here, let's see if I can actually show that. It's probably blurry, but they're pretty, they're like a little shaving, very, very thin shaving. But because there is a slight curve to it, number 5, it is still removing a considerable amount of wood, or at least it's kind of, I don't know how to explain it. It's helping you sort of discover it. I think I mentioned that before, but it's hard to explain that process, but it's a little bit at a time. It's actually a really fun process of when you're doing more three-dimensional sculptures, of just kind of walking along, taking a little bit away here, taking a little bit away there, and making it all work together.